Welcome to Death Row CA, the series where we pull back the curtain on California's most notorious capital cases. In this episode, Undercover Ambush, the case of Andre Stephen Alexander, we examine the tragic killing of a US Secret Service agent, the 12-year cold trail that followed, and how a high school connection reopened the case and led to a death sentence. This is Westchester, California, just east of LAX. On the surface, it's a quiet suburban neighborhood. But on June 4th, 1980, that calm was shattered by gunfire that killed one of the country's few female Secret Service agents in the line of duty. Her name, Julia Cross. Julie Cross was only 26 years old, a trailblazer. She was one of the first women to serve as a special agent in the US Secret Service. Ambitious, disciplined, and well-respected by colleagues, Julie wasn't content with a desk job. She volunteered for field duty, and on the night of June 4th, she was part of a surveillance team preparing to serve a federal search warrant on a suspected counterfeiter. That night watch, the home of the suspect, their role was critical. Intercept the target if he tried to flee. They were sitting in an unmarked car near the corner of Belford Avenue and Interceptor Street. It was dark, quiet, until a brown car drove slowly past them. Then again, the men inside were watching them. Those men were Andre Stephen Alexander and an unidentified accomplice. Alexander, born in 1952 and raised in Inglewood, was no stranger to violence. By the late 70s, he had already built a criminal reputation: armed robbery, counterfeiting, and violence. But this time, he was escalating. Witnesses later described the vehicle circling the block, and the two men walking out of sight behind an apartment. Then, moments later, they returned. Julie Cross noticed something. A figure approaching from behind the car. She got out, revolver drawn. Bullman, still in the driver's seat, turned to see Alexander pointing a .357 revolver directly at his head. A tense standoff followed. What happened next was chaos. Julie shouted at the intruders. Bullman tried to identify himself as law enforcement. Alexander ordered him to tell Julie to drop her weapon. Bullman refused. Another man appeared and grabbed the Secret Service-issued shotgun from the car. Julie tried to get back inside the vehicle, possibly to take cover. Then came the first shot. Julie was hit at close range. Bullman was thrown to the ground as Alexander fired again and again. During the struggle, Bullman managed to wrestle with Alexander. At one point, the accomplice aimed the shotgun at Bullman's head from just inches away and missed. The two men fled. Julie lay mortally wounded. Her service revolver was gone. Her body was slumped across the back seat. The case rocked law enforcement. Julie Cross was the first female agent in the history of the US Secret Service to be killed in the line of duty. Tributes poured in. She was remembered as brave, brilliant, and fiercely committed to justice. But her killer vanished. For over a decade, the case went cold. Then in 1992, LAPD detective Richard Buck Henry was working a triple homicide case from 1978. The victims, a counterfeit money order printer, his girlfriend, and another man. The location, Palms, California. The suspect, Andre Stephen Alexander. While reviewing old files, Henry came across a composite sketch from the 1980 Julie Cross case. It jogged a memory. Henry had gone to high school with Alexander. The facial features, the build, they matched. Suddenly, two cases, 12 years apart, were connected. Ballistics evidence, witness interviews and testimony from surviving Agent Lloyd Bullman all pointed to Alexander. He was charged with Julie Cross's murder while already serving 3 life sentences for the Palms triple homicide. The trial began in 1996. Prosecutors laid out a case of ambition turned lethal. Alexander wasn't just robbing strangers, he was targeting law enforcement. He knew they were agents. He killed Julie anyway. In court, Bullman recounted every moment of that night. His voice cracked as he described seeing Julie fall. The jury sat in stunned silence. Alexander showed no emotion. His defense team claimed misidentification, but the physical evidence, especially the distinctive Secret Service shotgun which had never been recovered, proved damning. The jury found Alexander guilty of first-degree murder with special circumstances, the killing of a law enforcement officer, and a murder during the commission of a robbery. The penalty phase was swift. On April 23, 1996, Andre Stephen Alexander was sentenced to death. He was 43. He remains on death row at San Quentin State Prison. Inmate #K08004, his appeals have been denied. He spends 23 hours a day in a concrete cell. No parole, no sympathy. Julie Cross's legacy endures. The Secret Service honours her every year. A scholarship in her name supports women entering federal law enforcement. She didn't live to see the impact she made, but those who knew her say her spirit still protects the badge. This is the story of Andre Stephen Alexander, a cold-blooded killer brought to justice by persistence, memory, and the promise that no agent's life will be forgotten. If this episode moved you, subscribe for more true crime stories and share it with someone who believes in justice, no matter how long it takes.